What if Garou from One Punch Man were to be put into the World Tournament in OG Dragon Ball? Even if you want to start him off against the fodder from like the very beginning of the tournament, like he started in the like round one, round two, so on and so forth. Even if he is not outright stronger from the beginning, his insane combat skill, techniques, and insane adaptability should allow him to, even in prolonged fights, steamroll most of the tournament. Especially since he has some pretty insane speed feats, even if we just limit him to his human forms and not any of the monster or cosmic form. But even if he were to fight against someone like Goku, Master Roshi, or hell, even Krillin, and he were to lose, just him losing, he would still get the experience of fighting them. And once he recovers, is going to adapt to that, assuming he isn't already adapting in the fight against them. Because keep in mind, this is just the tournaments. This is just characters having a martial arts tournament. They're not fighting to the death, at least not most of them. So, no one is really going to be going for the kill here, unless for some reason you want to place him against the tournament that had Piccolo Jr. in it. Maybe then he'd have a person that would actually try taking him out. But when you think about it, Garou's adaptability, he might as well be a Saiyan. Over the course of a single battle, even in the middle of it, he can grow rapidly in terms of his stats, in terms of his combat skill, in terms of his standard intelligence, and understanding and deducing what his opponents can do. So, if he lasts long enough in a fight with any of the characters in OG Dragon Ball, even the likes of a serious Master Roshi or a serious Goku, or hell, even a serious Krillin, he might be able to rapidly close the gap if they don't take him out of the tournament quick enough. And could you imagine if him being in Dragon Ball allowed him to learn how to utilize Ki? If he could adapt and copy techniques like he does normally, but with Ki attacks, he's going to be an even bigger problem. You thought Goku copying the Kamehameha wave quickly is going to be a problem? Imagine someone who, first learning it, is already an insanely skilled martial artist that is on par with the likes of current Goku, or a more adult version of Goku to the one that's in OG Dragon Ball. You're going to have someone who, for at least a long time, assuming this starts in OG Dragon Ball, before Goku's even comparable to the likes of combat skill that Garou would have, and is now going to have access to effectively any Ki technique he witnesses, assuming we have his potential work like that in Dragon Ball. Another thing I gotta mention is, even if we're just limiting him to his human forms, even if he goes to like that red-haired form, he is really, really fast, and might honestly be above the speed scale of OG Dragon Ball. If that's the case, and you have his level of combat skill, maybe his speed and combat skill could help him wash the OG Dragon Ball contestants, even with their massive strength difference. As long as it's not like a fight to the death match, because if it's a tournament setting, I could see him washing with his speed and skill. But if it was like a face-to-face, they're trying to kill each other, then I still think the Dragon Ball characters, at least the high tiers of OG Dragon Ball, should be able to deal with human Garou. And lastly, imagine that same growth of potential, and he were to stick around for the entirety of Dragon Ball as an ally. He would be able to be copying techniques for years. He'd be adapting to power for years. He would continue to grow stronger and evolve over the course of literal decades, and honestly be an extremely valuable asset to the Z Fighters.